It finally arrived. Dice Throne Adventures. I have been waiting for this for a very, very long time. For those of you who don't know, I recently, well, not super recently, but I recently, in the grand scheme of things, fell in love with Dice Throne. It's one of my friends and mine's favorite multiplayer game now to play. It's super, super fun. We really, really enjoy it. But we also just really, really love co-op experiences. So when I first got into Dice Throne, and if you haven't checked out my video about sort of what I love about Dice Throne, definitely go check out that video. I will put a little picture of it on here and you can go check that out right now, or maybe after this one. I really, really love Dice Throne, and so when I got into it, I was like, oh, this is really, really great. I sort of wish there was a cooperative mode. And then doing a little bit of searching, I was like, oh, there's something called Dice Throne Adventures. But unfortunately, the Dice Throne store was completely out of stock for Canada, and unfortunately, I find it pretty silly. It wouldn't let me order from the US store or anything like that. So I just had to wait. And I waited for quite a long time. I think ever since I made that video, I've messaged the support a couple of times, and they told me they were going to try to get it in before Christmas of last year, but unfortunately they didn't make that deadline. But luckily they recently just got the Canadian store in stock, so if you are like me and you are a Canadian who is looking for a copy of Dice Throne Adventures, the official store is now in stock. So definitely try and pick a copy up if you were like myself and you were really, really waiting for this game to get back in stock, because I don't know how long that is going to be the case. And so yeah, I figured, let's do an unboxing. Let's just check things out. It gives me a chance to just sort of chat with you all, and thank you guys as well so much for the support on the latest videos I've been doing. I've been trying to put a lot more effort into sort of recording some B-roll and fixing the lighting. As you can probably see, the lighting is a lot better on the videos lately. I'm working on thumbnails, and so I really do appreciate everyone who checks out the video, and if you are a new subscriber, hopefully you have been enjoying the content. I definitely am really, really enjoying making content again for everyone. And even checked out my last video, I did a little preview with Spires and Rangataki. Yeah, I have a separate video on the Spires End series, because that is another one of my favorite solo experiences. So if you are a solo board gamer, that is a Kickstarter that I definitely recommend checking out, Spires End Rangataki. You can check out my video. I do a little bit of a gameplay preview because I was Gregory, who's the designer of the game, was gracious enough to send me one of the prototypes for it. So I, had a little bit of fun checking that one out. It's a spoiler light playthrough of the prototype because it's only chapter 1 of the game, because obviously it's a prototype, so it's not the full game. And so I did a spoiler light playthrough of the prototype. I didn't play it all the way through. I only played like a few of the story cards and the first main combat encounter. This is also a much bigger box than I expected. This is sort of like role player adventures for me in terms of what I thought the box was going to be like, because role player adventures, I love role player board game, but I was at the local game store like during Boxing Day or whatever, and I was thinking about getting it, but when I saw the box on the shelf, I was like, that is a very large box, and I have enough big box games. Unfortunately, this one's going to add to it. This is actually quite a bit bigger than I thought it was, but I love my big box games, if you can tell. If you've been with this channel for a long time, I do like my good old bigger campaign games. And we're going to be trying this game out with my friends tomorrow, so I'm going to unbox it. I'm going to shut off the camera. I'm going to try to learn it all tonight so I can teach my friends tomorrow. I definitely don't like teaching my group of friends a game unless I've sort of run through the rules myself first, just because it really takes such a long time, especially with these larger games. All right, let's switch down to the top-down view, and let us check this out. So we got the rule book here. This is a massive rule book. So this is version 1.2. I'm assuming because it's the latest print, I'm guessing this is the latest version, which it should have all like the updates and stuff like that. So they have a video tutorial. It's designed by Nat Chatelier, Mandy Tremblay, and Gavin Brown. Yeah, this is I don't really know why they thought they had to make the rule book the size of the box, but hey, I don't know if that's better or worse. In some ways, I guess it's better. It's just not as thick. In some ways, I would see them as worse, because when you visually look at it, like I'm just getting overwhelmed just opening this up. But it seems like, their previous rulebook, like for the base Dice Throne game, was very, very easily laid out. They do a great job with color coding stuff, so I have no doubt this rule book is going to be one of the easier ones to follow. And yeah, so this will be interesting. So we'll set that off to the side there. And then we have just a little promo pamphlet, so showing off their Dice Throne miniatures. And if you don't know what Dice Throne boxes I have the Pyromancer Shadow Thief, I have the Artificer Cursed Pirate, and then I have the first Marvel box, which includes oh my god, I'm blanking. Spider-Man, Thor, Scarlet Witch, and Loki. I have a great memory. All right, so we got the campaign scoring sheet. So this is going to be keeping track of our campaign along the way. I'm curious as to how long a campaign goes for. It looks like it goes all the way up to session 20. That is a very, very large campaign. We probably won't be doing like a full campaign just because I have enough campaign games to go through. Ooh, there's a lot of punch-out boards. I'm definitely going to have to figure out... Oh, perfect. I was just going to say, Dice Throne, one thing I love about them is they always have a great storage solution. So it looks like we have all the stuff we need in terms of the containers to store stuff in. I love that. Big props, more board game companies need to invest in proper storage containers. You should always be able to easily store things back once you've actually punched everything out. It should also hold sleeves if you have a very heavy card game. That is just the nature of things. So we got a bunch of dice. So these dice look like they're going to be the enemy dice that we're going to be using here. We have some health trackers for the enemies as well as bosses, I would assume. And we got little standee markers. Now, unfortunately, I don't know. Does the game come with the base game hero standees? Because I have the standees because of the Marvel box comes with the standee characters for the Marvel box, but I don't know about like the other characters. I would assume so. I would hope so. So this looks like it is the shop. So it keeps track of common, rare, epic, and legendary. I did watch a couple of videos just on the base, how to play the game at a base level. But obviously that kind of stuff, you can't really retain all the info until you actually, play it yourself. All right, we got a cardboard blocker here. Get rid of that. Oof, wow, that is a whiff of new factory plastic. Ooh, and this is my type of sheet, the good old loot sheet. I will be looking forward to rolling all ones on that D20, but it would be great if we can get some legendary cards because I do love that. So it looks like we have the boss card. So it looks like we have the Fallen Barbarian. That's very, very cool. So there are some of the original characters, which is nice. We got the Gunslinger, which I actually don't have the Gunslinger. I actually want to pick that one up probably down the road. And same with the Samurai. We have the Monk, which is actually one of the characters my friends have. And the Mad King, which I guess is the original sort of boss, the main boss in the lore of the story. To be honest, I don't know what the lore is in this game. Apparently there's a story, there's a backstory, there's a world. Everyone's fighting for the throne, obviously. And here are the character sheets. Now, I believe there's actually rules in the game as well, because they are laid out in typical Dice Throne character fashion. I do believe there are rules for one player to take control of the boss, which is very, very interesting. Or a boss versus multiple game modes. So that'll actually be really, really nice when we have more than 4 players, because I believe this is only a up to 4 player game. So it'll be nice to have sort of a game mode that we can play. Ooh, let me see if I can get this back on track. That we can do with more than 4 players, like we can do the boss versus 4 other players type of thing. Oh boy, this is gonna be hefty. All right, so we got some cardboard just to make this thing a little bit sturdier. Let's move the big box out of the way. And this contains, I'm guessing, all the tiles. So this is gonna actually take me a while. It's a good thing I'm not starting this super late at night, otherwise I would not go to bed in time. So it looks like we have the different, to be honest, I don't even know what these are. These are just like image cards for the bosses. It looks like they almost go into some sort of standee. Oh no, they're separators. That's what they are. Okay. That's really, really cool that they include separators. Again, props to the Dice Throne team for actually, again, making some excellent decisions. Dice Throne and difficulty, so there's normal and there's other things on here. It's got like a boss help turn order card. So yeah, I'm really looking. I don't know who I'm going to be playing when we actually play this game. I'm probably going to play Thor, just because like Thor is one of my favorite characters. I do love the Cursed Pirate, but I have no clue how that type of character is going to do in Dice Throne Adventures. Because I do know that one thing about this. About adventures is I do know there are some characters where some of their abilities are just invalid because they don't work against minions, which is a little bit unfortunate. I definitely wish they would have balanced this enough where characters can be fully utilized. So it looks like these are the enemy character cards. So they're going to have their own hand, and they're going to... Oh no, these might actually be cards that we can add to our deck, I guess. Yeah, refresh. But they also, I guess, maybe dual purpose. Excuse me, maybe they're dual purpose. They have some dice symbols at the bottom to show what the enemy should be rolling towards. This deck looks like it is going to be... Whoa! I don't know what these are, but these must be the legendary cards or something. You can't really tell too well on the camera, but they're holographic, or they're shiny, I guess is the best way you can put it. Foil, that's what it was. Gotta bring out the old Magic the Gathering terms again. Blood Pact 3, this is a legendary card. It says not solo, though. Interesting. So there's going to be cards that are going to be invalid in solo play, which is a little unfortunate. Let me know in the comments if you've played this before. Is it better to play this game two-handed solo or just true solo? I'm very curious. I heard as well 4 players is apparently the most difficult way to play this game. Legacy Pack B, do not open until instructed to. Interesting, so there is some legacy content. I did not actually know that. Very, very cool. So I guess maybe we'll have to try playing a full campaign. So these are all the tiles. They are very, very hefty, very, very sturdy, and very, very nice looking. So we can just keep those slotted in. What else do we have here? We got Legacy Pack D, do not open until instructed. So it looks like one of these, so this one actually isn't foil, but this one is. So one of these is going to be sort of a super legendary card, I guess. I'm guessing this is the Legendary Pack B, Legacy Pack C. We already had B. Legacy Pack C, B, and D. So we gotta hunt for A. So that is Legacy Pack C. I'm very tempted to open it. Oh, Legacy Pack A is huge. So I wonder what these are. Interesting that they're all different sizes too. So it looks like we have already some separators. We have scenario cards. So it looks like these are all the different scenarios that you can potentially play. So all the different layouts of the dungeons and sort of the different levels of portal crawls that you go through. I'm guessing they just get increasingly more difficult. And what the setup is for the number of different characters and how you win and so on and so forth. Very interesting. And we have our Sal count here, the thing that keeps us alive. So these are separators for... legendary, epic, rare, and common, it looks like, for the enemies, which are all going to be in this pack. So you can see their different difficulty level on the top left. So these are all the minions. So minions are essentially going to be the main enemies we encounter during our Dice Throne adventures. And then, yeah, hopefully find our portal shards where we can get enough portal shards and get to the boss. This actually sort of reminds me a lot of Tiny Epic Dungeons. It's actually very, very similar. You have a tile-based layout. The whole go is that, you have a lot of minions you have to fight through first, but then you ultimately get to the boss at the very end. It's sort of built in 2 different acts. So it's a very, very similar experience, which is actually really, really good because the experience of it, I think, will transfer over. I've already forgot how to put everything back together. So I'm going to be unboxing all this stuff anyways. I'm going to have to figure out where all this stuff goes. But yeah, that is it. I mean, I don't want to make this super, super long. This is a fairly old game. So, well, old in the grand scheme of things. It's a few years old. And I don't want, I'm sure many of you have already played Dice Throne. You already know what all this stuff is, and you've already seen a lot of unboxings. But I wanted to do a little bit of unboxing. I wanted to, of course, just show off this game for those of you who might not have known that there was a cooperative board game for Dice Throne. I will say, though, just remember, if you are planning on getting this and you are someone who owns Dice Throne characters, you do need Dice Throne characters. So if you're new to Dice Throne, or if you are thinking about buying Dice Throne Adventures, just make sure to actually pick up at least 1 or 2 boxes of the characters, because you can't play it without it, which is a little bit unfortunate. It is a very pricey game for the fact that you still need to buy the characters on top of it. So it is a little bit unfortunate, but looking at the quality of the components, it does look like there's a lot of gameplay in here. So it's sort of, par for the course. It definitely isn't out of the range of, unrealistic in my opinion, but still would have been nice to be a slightly cheaper, but it's okay. It's okay. I just gotta sell some of my other board games, But that is gonna do it for this. I will of course get some solo gameplay of this game once I've played it a couple of times, get pretty familiar with the rules, and of course playing it with my friends. What is up next though, I will definitely be getting some more content out for Final Girl. I still have one of the Final Girl games that I haven't played yet, that I picked up. I do have the Hans, the camp feature box set that I actually haven't opened up yet, but I did play the Alien, I actually forget the name. What is it called? The Evomorph. I played the Evomorph box on my own offline. I beat it first try, which was super fantastic. And that was a really fun feature box. I'll probably record a gameplay of that. I'm tempted to start Arkham Horror again, but boy, oh boy, that's going to be a lot of work if I do that one. I do have more solo stuff though. I do also want to do solo gameplays of the roll and write games I have, so Cartographer's Heroes and Rolling Realms. I will probably get some gameplays out for those soon because those are really easy to record. I do want to do a recording of Tiny Epic Zombies, as well as, of course, Tiny Epic Dungeons as well, but those, of course, will be a little bit longer, and those will take a little bit more work to record, so those will probably be out down the road. And then I do want to actually start doing more tabletop role-playing stuff, because if you don't know, I do love, my friends and I play a ton of tabletop role-playing stuff. We've been playing tabletop role-playing games for like 10 years almost, I think, like way back when. And so I have, as you can see, I got a bunch of tabletop role-playing stuff from like Forbidden Lands, the Alien tabletop role-playing game, Cyberpunk Red, and Vaesen, and I definitely want to do a video just talking about some of my favorite games that aren't D&D, because a little bit of a hot take, I think D&D is a pretty subpar system, to be honest. And to be honest, it's probably not even a hot take. It's not that great of a system for a lot of things. It's very accessible though, and it's very widespread. I will say that. But there's a lot of, I think, in my opinion, better systems out there, a lot more fun and engaging systems, and a lot more systems that invoke certain feels that Dungeons and Dragons just can't do, or at least can't do as well. So I do want to do a video on that and just sort of share my love of tabletop role-playing games. Let me know in the comments if there's any games you might have seen on my shelf that you might want me to do a video on. If there's games that I should pick up that you think I might be interested in based on the other games I've done videos on, then definitely let me know in the comments. My brother still has a couple of gift cards to give me for my local game store for Christmas, and so I will definitely be looking to spend those as soon as I get them. But until then, until the next video, thank you again so much for all the support lately. It's definitely been more gratifying doing a lot of board game stuff. If you don't know, I used to do a lot of video game content on this channel. I've since unlisted all my videos and privated them because I definitely want to turn this into a board game based channel. But video game stuff is, even though it's much easier to record, I find the experience of recording this stuff for you all much more gratifying, and I get a lot more out of it. And so yeah, hopefully you are enjoying it, and definitely give the video a like and a comment and a subscription if you aren't subscribed already, because as you know, that does support the channel and that does make all this stuff well worthwhile. But until the next video, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you then.